The matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work. When you go to church. When you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Welcome to lesson 1 that by demand was requested that I repeat. So rather than do it for individuals one at a time, I just thought it best that I record it and deliver it, and then you can watch it at your own leisure. Okay, so annoyingly, I did this already on another software that limited me to 1 minute of recording. Now this lasted 10 or 15 minutes, maybe even longer, and I've just realized that it didn't record it, so here's me going through it again. I'm going to do this again for you, and I believe I've cracked it now, so you will both hear me and see my screen, and I should hopefully deliver this a little more seamlessly. Okay, so let's go. A few things I want to cover today. What is crypto? What's a blockchain? What's a wallet? What's an exchange? How do I buy it? Where do I store it? And how do I operate safely with this? Now, this is lesson 1. I'm going to go into other things a lot deeper later on. Okay, so bear with me if I am broad in my explanations with this. So firstly, what is crypto? Crypto is a store of value that is able to be transmitted electronically, digitally across the internet. Value is something that you attribute something of worth to. Currently, we are mainly programmed to consider that money or fiat currency is the primary store of value for transacting with. Okay, but historically, value was transmitted in other means, goods and services, labor, you know, even at one point, feathers and beads, precious metals, coins, paper, and then currently we're using a lot of digital ones and zeros that exist within this fiat currency. Now, we operate on a fiat currency within what's known as a fractional reserve mechanism, that actually the amount of money that exists is not reflected by the amount of money that's circulated. A lot of it is just a fugazi, a illusion, you know, one's in a computer screen. So how is money created? Well, it's created with debt, and you know, we all have experience of what debt is. But crypto is unique in the fact that it is undilutable. Let's take Bitcoin as an example. It was programmed from its inception, which can never be changed. It's its source code to only ever have 21 million in its total circulating supply. Okay, right now there's about 19.2 million that are circulating, and 1.8 approximately million are left to be mined still. Now, the miners who create the cryptocurrency from solving complex mathematical equations and cryptography, yeah, they are multi-purpose. They've got the job of validating transactions that are occurring on the ledger, okay, and also they get rewarded by validating these transactions with the gas cost, if you like, for when we send it from A to B. You know, there's a blockchain fee. Also, simultaneously, whilst they're doing this transaction validation on the ledger, they are completing this mining activity, and they get rewarded with a proportion of newly minted Bitcoin. And by its very DNA and nature, Bitcoin to create is progressively harder. It needs more computational power to be able to mine it. And also, after every 4 years, the program or the blockchain or the DNA, the code, actually halves the amount of rewards that are issued, making it scarcer and scarcer and harder to create. So by that very construction, its value will continue to appreciate because it's getting harder and harder to acquire. Okay, so what is crypto? So, well, there's 21,909 cryptocurrencies that currently circulate, and they circulate in a mixture of on exchanges and in P2P or person-to-person transactions in between wallets. Now, a wallet is unique to that particular cryptocurrency, and the wallet exists to be able to receive and send said crypto. Okay, so let's go back to here. What is crypto? Well, it operates on a blockchain, which is like the ledger. What goes in balances with what goes out, and the miners, now there's loads of them, and they all validate these transactions. They reach a consensus and balance the books every 7 or 8 minutes. Okay, so there's a consensus reached with what money or what value exists on the blockchain, is consistent and all correlates with what quantities exist within each wallet that exists. Now, a wallet is where the Bitcoin in this instance is stored, and this wallet has both a public address and a private spend key. Now, a public address is something that's shared to someone that wants to transfer some value, some Bitcoin into your wallet. So you share with them the address. Now, the address is the identifier for that wallet. It's unique. No two wallet addresses are the same. And it's an alphanumeric assemblance of characters. Okay, so a wallet can also be considered a bit like a drawer within a filing cabinet. And I'll get to expand on this analogy a little bit later. But this drawer has a label on the front of it, and that label is the wallet address. And that drawer is where you put your Bitcoin, or it is stored for the sake of this explanation. An exchange, what is it? Well, an exchange is a place in which you can purchase crypto. Like I said, there's 528 exchanges that exist. And let's take Bitcoin, for example. Bitcoin is listed on all of these exchanges. Okay, and this order is structured according to how much is being traded within the last 24 hours, descending quantities. Okay, so Binance currently has the most volume trading on it within the last 24 hours. Okay, so we'll take Binance as an example. When you set up an account on Binance, which is free, then what I'll do is I'll also share my referral link. So if you do set up an account and it happens to be on Binance, use that link because you'll probably get 10% extra balance crediting your first deposit. So if you want to use that link, use it. If not, don't worry about it. Just Google Binance and then, you know, sign up from the sign up jobby. Okay. So when you sign up for Binance or any exchange, you'll be asked to verify your identity to get your account status to verified status. You need to get it verified because under anti-money laundering legislation that the governments have enforced on financial institutions to operate, they need to know who their customers are. KYC, know your customer. So in order to actually have a fully functional account within an exchange, you're going to need to verify your identity. It's not anything shady, and it's worth going to a reputable exchange because they obviously manage data a lot more securely. But you will need to provide them some evidence of where you live, who you are, country of residence, and a copy of your identification. Also, you need to verify your phone number, so they will be able to send you one-time passcodes for when you're verifying transactions. You know, be a quick passcode that will expire after 60 seconds if you need to make a withdrawal, for instance. Okay, so an exchange is where we're going to buy said crypto. Now, an exchange will support hundreds of different cryptocurrencies, but they'll also support fiat currency. So when you set up an exchange account, you'll need to verify your identity, but secondly, you'll also need to verify your means of mechanism of payment, whether that's your bank account via a bank transfer or your debit card. Now, it's worth, before selecting the exchange in which you're going to sign up to, Googling that your present bank account actually facilitates transactions between that bank and said exchange, because you don't want to set up an account on an exchange that you later find out, actually, Barclays doesn't actually allow me to transact with Binance, so therefore I've just wasted my time. Certainly going through all the KYC verification business, which can take a couple of hours, up to 24 hours. So it's worth clarifying just with a simple Google whether or not your current exchange is supported by your bank. Make sense? Okay, when you have an exchange, they will also give you a drawer within the file. So we spoke about a wallet being a drawer, yeah? When you open an exchange account, they give you a filing cabinet with, you know, let's say infinite amounts of drawers for all the different currencies that they support. But they also support fiat currencies, pounds, euros, US dollar, Aussie dollar, whatever. So your fiat currency of choice that's deposited into your account, which you later then use to be able to trade to buy whatever currency, cryptocurrency you're looking to trade into, you need to obviously be able to have a drawer to be able to deposit your pounds or dollars into by whatever means, bank transfer or debit card. Bear in mind, debit cards are going to likely cost you between 1.8 and 3.5% of the deposit value to do the deposit. So bank transfer will only cost you maybe £1 to do, you know, a variable amount of value to deposit. So it might be worth considering doing more bank transfer like transactions there, because it's going to be cheaper for you. Okay, so let's pretend that we have set up our bank account details with our crypto exchange account, which we've just set up. We've verified that. Okay, we've established what an exchange is. Well, it's a place where we buy it, don't we? How do we buy it? Well, like I said, we need to be able to verify our identity and enable this exchange to be able to accommodate deposits. So we then make a deposit. We do a bank transfer, and we'll do that bank transfer from our bank app. So we'll need to actually input the receiver. The receiver in this case is going to be Binance. And when you do a deposit, they will give you their bank account number, their sort code, their company name, and a reference. That reference is quite important because that's the identifier that will end up with the money going into your wallet drawer rather than someone else's or just Binance's. Yes. See, if I was to select bank card, it would cost me 1.8%, or bank transfer is only going to cost me £1. So let's say I wanted to send £100 to Binance. I would need to then click bank transfer, click continue. Okay, it'll go through faster payments. I'm not going to, in case it shows some sensitive information. Okay, it will then display Binance's bank account number and their sort code and their company name, which is Skrill, I think, and then the reference number, which will be your name on this exchange, but it could be an alphanumeric thing, which you copy and paste into your reference in your banking app when you're making the bank transfer for a new payee, which you're setting up. You then send £100 from your bank app to the newly established payee in your mobile banking or online banking, and then you send £100. That £100 will take however long it takes for transactions to process, but will then be deposited in your fiat drawer in your wallet. You with me so far? Hope so. Okay, so now you have your £100 sitting in your fiat wallet. How do you buy crypto? Well, now you have something to trade with. You can go into a marketplace within this exchange. And as you can imagine, if they support hundreds of cryptos that are interchangeable between dozens of fiat currencies, as well as being interchangeable with other cryptos themselves, i.e. Bitcoin and Ethereum, Bitcoin and Litecoin, Bitcoin and XRP, there's thousands of trading pairs. Okay, so we now have £100 sitting in our GBP. I want to buy Bitcoin in this example. So let's go to a market. Okay, that market, hang on, let's go trade. Just wait for this to finish pinwheeling. We are going to do what's called spot trading. Okay, that is a spot, that's like on at the time, at that moment. Okay, we're not doing futures, we're not doing margin, we're not doing any complicated gambling trading or anything that we need to worry ourselves at the moment. We are trading like for like, one for the other. In this case, we are trading between BTC and GBP. So in here, we go to our search, BTC, GBP. Hit enter. Okay, there's the trading pair. I now click on it. And over here, we can see BTC, GBP. We are now in this marketplace. What we're looking at currently is the depth chart. Okay, all of these people, all of this graph here to the right of the middle represents people that are selling. All the people on the left are people that are representing buying. Let's go to trading view. This chart here represents time, okay, and price. X and Y axes. Okay, so we've got time and then we've got price. Each one of these doji candlesticks, right, we're not going to go too much into this, is representative of a time frame. Now up here we've got 1 second, 15 minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, 1 day. Okay, so each one of these candles represents, in this case, a 15-minute chunk of time. If I was to hit 1 hour, now we've got each one of these candlesticks representing 1 hour. Okay. And again, on the right, we've still got the scale of price. It's kind of like irrelevant if you're just doing a quick transaction. You are changing £100 into Bitcoin to send to someone that you owe £100 to. Okay, but if you were trading, then you would obviously have considerations at preferential times in which you'd want to make that purchase, i.e. not at the top. Okay, ideally you want to get it close to the bottom. So right now, in the last, I don't know, 12 hours or something, it's been what we call capitulating. It's just been moving sort of in a sideways angle. It's not been going aggressively up or down. So there's two types of purchase we can make within a spot trade. We can do a limit buy or a market buy. Over here, if we were selling Bitcoin, similarly, we could do a limit sell and a market sell. Now, limit allows us to actually input a price and then a quantity or a value. And here, let's put £100. So £100 at this current price will give us 0.00721 Bitcoin. Okay, obviously this price is moving, it's fluid because people are buying and selling all the time and it's fluctuating. So therefore, if I was to put in that price, it might sit in the order book, or I might be buying it at a higher price than actually, is the current market price. But if I was to set this too low, let's say if I set it at 13,000, then it's just going to sit very low down in this order book, all the way down here, until all of these other orders had been met before my orders filled. So it could be weeks before that price drops to 13,000 before I then spend my £93 to buy that same equivalent amount of Bitcoin as I would have done. I've saved myself £7. Okay, the other type of purchasing is market. So the market is quite simply going to fill my £100 order at the current market price. So it will fill it immediately. We've not got to wait for it to sit in the order book. Okay, so if you're just in a hurry, just do that. Okay, it's simpler than setting a limit price and it sit in the order book here. Okay, so £100 worth of Bitcoin, current market price, we hit buy, it executes. That £100 which previously existed in our fiat wallet is actually now sitting in our BTC wallet. Okay, and then it is no longer in pounds, it's in Bitcoin. Same value, same worth, subject to what the present market situation is. Okay, so that's how you buy it. How do you store it? Well, you store it on the exchange for now. Okay, they've given you a filing cabinet. You've got loads of drawers. Each drawer you can store your crypto in. It's not a long-term strategy, and it's not worth storing your crypto on an exchange for any prolonged period. Okay, so a exchange will give you a wallet to be able to use to be able to transact with. Okay, but that wallet is what we'll call a hot wallet because you don't own your private spend key. The exchange does. The exchange has it. So if the exchange was to become bankrupt or go under like FTX did the other week, then you could lose access and custody of your crypto. So there are other types of wallets that exist. Self-custody wallets, which are software based. They'll generate a 12 or 24 word seed phrase, which is unique to that filing cabinet. Yeah, and you write that down and you put it in a safe just in case you ever needed to recover it. And that's your self-custody wallet. There are hardware wallets which are similar, but they're actual physical devices that you'll, like a USB stick that is encrypted, plug into your PC to retrieve your wallet address, and you can then send your crypto to that wallet address and then lock that device in a safe. Okay, but you are the master of your own security with these self-custody wallets. If you lose your seed phrase or your identifier, which is unique to that wallet, then you can say goodbye to recovering it, which is why there's a bit of responsibility when it comes to being your own bank. If you were to build a bank in the Wild West, you wouldn't just not put any guardrails up or a door on the front of your bank or bother having a safe. you need to have some degree of security posture. Okay, so this is what this education is all about. Okay, so that about summarizes what I wanted to cover today. What is crypto? Just to summarize, it's a store of value, it's a transmission of value, it's a hedge against inflation. What is a wallet? It's a unique repository for a specific crypto. Okay, it has a sending and receiving function. It has a unique identifier, as in a wallet address. And it's a bit like a drawer in a filing cabinet. An exchange, well, that's a place where you buy and you send, you can receive and trade various cryptocurrencies. Within an exchange, when you set it up, you get given a filing cabinet with loads of drawers in which you can transact with and from. Due to anti-money laundering laws, know your customer or KYC is necessary for your identifying information, so they will permit you to operate. Okay, and they will also operate with hundreds, if not thousands, of trading pairs between all the different fiat currencies and cryptos that they support. You buy it once you've completed KYC, and you can fund your account from your bank account or your debit card. And within an exchange, you can use your newly deposited fiat credit. Yes, and you can then trade within the exchange to be able to interface with all of these different cryptos. In our example, we had Bitcoin, where we did a market buy, yeah, and traded £100 worth of pounds for £100 worth of BTC. Where do you store it? Well, you can store it on the exchange. I don't, not for very long, unless I'm, transacting with it. You store it off exchange within a self-custody software-based wallet, i.e. your phone, providing that you have written down safely somewhere your seed phrase, your identifier for that wallet creation. You can also use a cold wallet storage, and that's like a safety deposit box, safest there is. But again, if you just, copy and paste your 24-word seed phrase and save it on the desktop of your computer that has malware on it, you may as well, throw it out the window or just give it to someone. It's like, it's like writing your PIN on your bank card and just not even putting it in your wallet. Lastly, this is about safety, security, posturing, being educated on this technology and knowing about it. Knowing about the different types of wallets, never ever sharing your secure information, i.e. your seed phrase, and using self-custody wallets or cold wallets being preferable. Okay, so I think we've covered the basics. This is just lesson 1. This is going to be like an onion that we're going to layer on top of, and you'll get more and more a better understanding as we go through it. But as Amschel Rothschild famously said, if he can issue and control the nation's money, he cares not who writes the laws. So he can put anyone on the throne and still puppet them to doing his bid, because the one that controls the money controls the world. So become educated in self-governance for your own stores of value, and get the knowledge to be able to transact, not dependent on the system that is soon to be defunct. Okay, thanks for your attention, and I hope this has been of some value.